welcome to New Game Mondays. I'm Dylan.
I'm Suzzan, and we're talking about
Tokyo Sidekick.
Japanime Games, the company that brought us Cowboy Bebop
And Terraformers.
Yeah, those are fun games. So when we got this game, we dove right in.
We skimmed the rules.
We picked characters that we were like, ooh, that's cool. Let's play with that.
And we lost horribly.
Yeah, we did. So we put it down.
Picked back up the rules and read through it thoroughly.
And redid our strategies and then found that we were successful. Which is very much like what Japanime Games has done. They are relaunching their Kickstarter and it's live right now. And I'm not sure what they found out wrong with it because
we love it.
Yeah. But they did. They retooled it and it's back out there. And we're here to talk to you about how we played the game and what works for us.
Teamwork. That's the most important thing.
It is a super cooperative superhero game.
With deck building and light RPG elements.
And there's trouble in the city. And they said, bring a sidekick.
So, playing together and teamwork is one of the most important things. There's basically pseudo roles you guys can take. Each player picks a hero and a sidekick. And then each hero and a sidekick have a certain role to play. You have attackers, you have support, and you have people going for incidents. It's really important to figure out who goes well with what area of the game.
And the rule book is heavy, but what they added to the rule book is not just the characters and what their abilities are,
but bios and like a connective sheet to say who knows who. Because if you actually look at that web map of connections, you can actually see who works well together in the actual game.
Oh, you know what? They also included a manga.
It's so good. It really delves into the world.
And after we read the rules and saw the backstories and the connections, we found that it gave us like their initial interpersonal connections and why they work well with their hero. These sidekicks. So they not only it's reminiscent to some anime, but they built their whole new world and lore, which was very cool.
So
let's talk about setting up the game.
Yes, each player chooses one hero and one sidekick. Now both of these determine your sort of play style. My favorite one was choosing a hero who could do a lot of damage and a sidekick that can help him move around.
Yeah, we kind of did divide and conquer. That was a mechanism that worked for us because I, not being the big RPG person, I like going around and fixing the incidents. But we'll get to that in a second. We're going to talk setup.
You chose the one who goes after incidents.
Yes. But let's talk about setup.
Setup. You have this card right here. This determines everything you can do in a turn. This is where your deck is. And your deck of cards is comprised of 3 kinds of cards. You got power, you got speed, and you got concentration. Each hero and each sidekick really synergize well with a single one of those, but you need all 3 types to do things. Next, you have XP. You get XP by defeating villains, supervillains, and taking care of incidents.
All right, so when you start up the game, after you've picked your character and you got your board and your starting deck, there's incidents that are preset. The greens are preset where you start the game. And after that, they're chosen randomly. They're drawn, and they go from...
green, yellow, and red.
Yeah, red is bad. And it took us a while to figure this out. But at the bottom of the incident cards, there's a map that help you find where you put the incident on the board, because the board is big and vast, and if you don't use cities in Japan, that it's hard to find.
So, incidents. If you don't complete them, they actually harm the city, which is one way you can lose the game, is if you don't take care of incidents, especially the red ones.
Yeah, they get critical. There's 3 ways that the night can end.
Yes.
You can banish 2 villains, 2 supervillains, and a menace
to the asylum.
And win.
Yes.
Or
you can lose by the city delving into chaos because you didn't handle enough incidents.
And
finally,
our baddies
we
cause
got
damage.
Villains and supervillains.
And if you get damage, the damage deck is limited.
Yes.
And if you deplete this, that also ends the game.
Each villain has a specific place they go when you draw them, and they have little abilities to hinder the players.
So it's health and...
It is armor and health.
And once you have to take care of both of those.
Yes.
To banish them.
And once you do, they're gone. However, every turn a new one appears. And if you do not defeat them, you get damaged at the end of the round for how many villains are on the board.
All right, so let's talk about turns. Not every turn. Mm-hmm. It's more like a round.
The round.
Yeah.
You go around the table once, and then a new one appears.
So each character, each player is, in essence, going around collecting power, taking care of incidents, or trying to attack the villains or the supervillains. And after we've gone through every player, that's when we have to check up that if there's villains on the board or if there's red incidents, we go critical or we spawn another villain.
Yes. Now, let's talk about what you can actually do when it's your turn.
That's a good idea.
So, on your turn, you have a number of actions you can do based on your deck you have. You can move your characters. You can charge up, which is basically a reshuffle. You can brush up, which is a heal to get rid of damage. You can resolve an incident. You can attack the villain. And then these are my two favorite. Assemble lets you pull both your characters to one spot on the board. And power up lets you attack with both your characters in like a dynamic duo attack.
Super fun. And it's not in any order.
No, it's basically just how you want to spend your cards. Now, the other thing you can spend your cards on are hero abilities. These are locked at the beginning of the game, but can be unlocked with XP, and they differ between every single hero. Some of them give you more damage, some of them heal everyone around you, or let people draw more cards.
Love that one.
They're very versatile, and they're very necessary in later games when you have more villains on the board.
And it is a deck building, so there is an opportunity to
spend XP to get more power, strength, and concentration.
And which is what we focused on the first couple games.
Yes.
And
we focused completely on buying cards.
Building our deck.
Yes.
And then we found the mechanism that worked for us is not maybe one of the players building the deck, but everybody else unlocking
the 3 hero abilities.
Yeah.
The Sidekick tool, which basically makes your sidekick even stronger. And then you can upgrade your hero's attacks, which lets them utilize all 3 kinds of cards equally.
That was a very keen mechanic, is that the heroes come with what are these called?
Tools. Hero tools.
That go to
the sidekick.
The sidekick. That's so smart.
And
that's
once
so
unlocked, the sidekick basically gets the same boost that the hero does. Now, once you've gone through and handled 2 villains and 2 supervillains,
banishing them to the asylum,
one of 3 menaces appear.
Oh, they're frightening. They're so fun.
The first menace you can face is...
Well, it's by random. It's random.
Yeah, it's by random, but we suggest you do this order because some of them are difficult.
Yeah, the rulebook does say that we should do that one first.
You start with a King Kaiju.
Is that this guy?
Yes. And he has a route he has to take city to city every turn, and you have to banish him to the asylum before he hits the final city.
We knew where he was coming. And what worked great for us was that you had the butler.
I had Gray Rabbit and the butler. What the butler can do is move other heroes with him in a car.
So he picked us all up, and we were just sitting there waiting, so we didn't have to waste any energy going to him. He came to us.
And then we just destroyed him in like 1 turn.
That was pretty satisfying after quite a few plays. So, and then there's 3 menaces to choose from. We haven't done the last one because...
The second one?
No, the big baddie.
Oh, yes. We haven't done this like immortal monk. Now, his ability definitely frightens me because every turn he just spawns more villains.
That's the thing about these cards is that it's so well thought out. Not only the relationships between the sidekicks and the heroes, but the abilities that they have, I felt was very balanced and challenging.
You definitely need to work together to beat these things because they are not easy.
And once you
do,
let's say you're lucky enough that
you somehow win.
You've banished 2 villains, 2 supervillains, and a menace.
That doesn't mean you won't banish more villains because no matter what, they keep on coming.
True story. There is you win, which is fun.
A scoreboard where you
so dorps.
You tally up all of your achievements and failures, and you get ranked on a scale that goes.
Everybody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone all together. You get ranked from nerd hero to godly parentheses. Email us to boast.
Hashtag Tokyo Sidekick. Yeah, we're not there yet.
No.
We're hero nerds, and we're happy with that. And that's the thing. The replayability is huge because of the vast interaction lore that they've built for this world. And it's 1 to 4 players. They say 40 to 60 minutes. The first couple games were
a bit longer because we didn't really know what we were doing at the time.
And we find it's a perfect balance between depth and style and challenge and fun. It was very fun to play.
I loved it so much, and it's back on Kickstarter now.
And if I had one complaint, and it's only one little one, it is not a portable game. There's a ton of pieces here. But, once you get used to setting it up and putting it away, it's fine. And they are quite striking.
Beautiful pieces.
Charming. And I think these are
the upgraded version
for the Kickstarter that you can unlock.
The basic one comes with
the little stand, but they're still pretty. The artwork is great. So it's a very fast-moving, unpredictable game, and I feel like it's a timeless game.
Yeah.
There's some games that are on the shelf and you play and you're never going to go back to them, but something like this,
there's so much variety and different ways you can play.
Exactly, and people that are even new to gaming because it's cooperative. It's not like, oh, you've got to think about so much. We're in this together, and we really enjoyed it. And
yeah,
we should play it again today.
Oh yeah. Definitely nerds approved.
Absolutely. All right, Tokyo Sidekick, Japanime Games. It is live on Kickstarter right now. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.